Okay, I'm Zoomers React. This is Millennial Money, episode. Oh, wait, hold on. Yeah, episode 6. Why we stopped buying Bitcoin.
Millennial money.
Let's jump into it.
What is going on, guys? This is Millennial Money. Thank you so much for joining us here today. We have Meet Kevin in the house with over 1 million subscribers. You probably have seen Meet Kevin because you can't miss the man. He puts out 6 videos a day, absolute beast. We have Andre Jick, who is the man that is the magic man of finance. Okay, just incredible videos. We have Graham Stephan, the legend himself, over 3 million subscribers now. Graham, congrats on that.
Congrats.
Absolutely incredible. And then we have myself, Jeremy Lefebvre, and I have Financial Education 1, 2, and 3. And yeah, we've got a lot to talk about, guys. Oh my gosh. Okay, we've got to talk about Bitcoin. We've got to talk about cryptos. We've got to talk about GameStop. GameStop just reported earnings a few hours ago. We got to talk about stocks. I lost a lot of money today. I don't know about you guys, but I was down like 6 figures. Did you guys suffer some losses? Was that only me today?
Yeah, no, I put 100K in my account today, and it was basically all gone.
What?
Yeah, because Schwab counts it like when you put money in your account, it'll count it the next day as a gain. So sometimes like you put 20K in there, it makes it look like you made 20K. But I put 100,000 in there, and it was like zero this morning. So it was like I didn't put any money in the account just because it's down.
I'm down 1% on my portfolio. That's the beautiful thing about dividends is they're kind of boring, even right now. It's like, cool, I didn't even feel that. I'm down 3 grand.
Oh, okay. I was down 6 figures, so I don't even want to know what you were down, Kevin. Was it a 7-figure day?
Kevin just lost lots of money.
The sound effects
You
on
have to
tap.
pay them for using that. I feel they gotta get like a cent every time you play that.
We gotta make it an
Let's not get
NFT, man.
demonetized.
Oh gosh, that's funny.
How much are you down today, Kevin?
You know, I don't look, but I would. Tesla was not too bad. Usually that's 100 grand per 1%. It was down like 1%. You know, it's the days where Tesla's down, 10% that look very bloody. But today, I don't know. It's probably down a few 100K. Yeah, I mean, it's certainly going to be over 100K. Yeah.
Yeah.
Focus on the Q, not P.
Yeah.
We should
Exactly.
change the
Quantity.
name.
That's right. Hey, that sounds familiar.
We should change the name to Millennial No Money.
Millennial no money. So
Oh, Zoomer.
guys, we got Bitcoin. Why we stopped buying Bitcoin? That's our subject title today. So I'm trying to figure out, should we lead it with that today? This whole why we stopped buying Bitcoin. Because Kevin, what happened? You posted a video earlier today. I don't know if it was in regards to Bitcoin, but you posted something in regards to crypto interest rates. And then next thing you know, what happened? You were shut down, or what happened with that whole situation, man?
Kevin, you
Yeah,
called me late last night too. You're like, Graham, we gotta talk. This is crazy. Just going off. For the
I know, and you blew me off.
It was editing.
Oh, I see the
Terrifying.
priorities
Tell us
here.
more.
Yeah.
Tell us more. That was
Yeah,
terrifying.
No, I don't know. Like the thing is, the problem is, and I won't obviously do like the 17-minute video here, but the problem is there's a substantial lack of transparency when it comes to crypto lending and crypto interest. So I made a video addressing why, like, this whole pass-through FDIC insurance is fugazi, how the amount of money that's actually showing as one-to-one collateral is not actually probably what people think it is, because if I deposit $100 in BlockFi or whatever, and then they decide to lend it to an institutional lender who happens to be Voyager or Gemini, and they're lending, they're giving that GUSD or USDC stablecoin or whatever to their customers. You can have this never-ending chain of lend, and there's a big potential risk of what if one of these companies goes bankrupt because they were a little excessive on their interest rates or their margin rules, and then all of a sudden one bankruptcy becomes a huge liability for another institution who lent them a bunch of money. Now they just lost lots of money, and then it's kind of like when one power grid shuts down. That creates a lot more load and stress on the next one, and then what if those go,
Domino
right?
effect.
And then like 20 minutes after I posted my video, I kid you not, somebody else sent this to me, and a bunch of people were seeing it, not the app, but if you went directly to the website, private browser or not, 20 minutes after I posted my video, this is what shows up. And so we're like, okay, this is a little eerie.
Dude, it's terrifying because what you told me, you said that if the price of Bitcoin collapses, which kind of makes sense because we have so many retail investors now, we have so many beginners that don't have those diamond hands, that if they see a 20%, 30% crash, then everybody flocks to sell everything. And then that obviously crashes the price of Bitcoin or whatever stable coin, because now everyone's trying to cash out. And because there's not enough stable coins on the balance sheet, technically, because we're trading derivatives, well, then the value of the stable coins drops, and then you get this domino effect. And that's pretty terrifying. And that's one of the things where people are like, yeah, Bitcoin, no regulation. But it's like, wait a minute, that's precisely where regulations are supposed to stop.
Andre,
Yeah.
Andre, what I mean, of your understanding here with these interest rates on these cryptos, like how sustainable do you think this is? Like, do you think it is scary to put money at all? Like, I would love to hear, because I think you might understand maybe the best of all of us, maybe on that side.
Well, actually,
what's your
Kevin
opinion?
brought it up to my attention. He's the brilliant dude who came up with this, but I don't know if there's something we're missing. Like, if there's something that we're just like, well, gosh, we didn't think of this one thing. That's obvious.
Yeah.
I don't know what liquidity things that there's stops that they can prevent, because my understanding is that once those collateralized loans, once they get hit, once the price drops, they automatically sell. And so I don't know if companies like BlockFi can respond quickly enough on time to have, like, I guess, I don't know, circuit breakers or something like the equivalent of that, where that would not happen. But I don't see any barrier, as far as like what my knowledge is, where that wouldn't happen. I don't know what would prevent that from happening. Regulations are supposed to prevent that.
Is that covered under SIPC? I should know this. I don't.
No, I don't believe so. No, that's SIPC is investment firms.
Right.
Yeah, the thing that scared me was, Kevin, when I watched your first interview with the Voyager CEO, he basically, you kind of asked him very directly about the risk. And he's like, oh, yeah, there's risk, but he never got into the level of detail that somebody, and that's why I still can't put a ton of money in those, because I'm like, okay, it's like, tell me a little more, please. Like, give me some details. Did you get any details out of him in that second interview, Kevin, that you were looking for? Okay.
It's weird because, like, look, and I invest in Voyager too, Voyager Digital, because like there's no question the growth is there, the euphoria to get into these companies and get into crypto is there. What we're talking about is low odds stuff happening. And it's kind of like, Andre, you were just saying, hey, like, what if they just do stops? There are even some comments here. People are like, well, why don't they just stop people from being able to withdraw? Well, they did that to Tether. They stopped. They froze it for a moment, and then you had a massive sell-off because people are like, wait a minute, this puts into question the whole point of a pegged currency. If there's a stop, that signals to society that, well, the only reason you would stop withdrawals is if you didn't have enough collateral, and if you're not collateralized, then the value's wrong, right? So like a stop makes the situation worse. But yeah, a stop might be necessary to literally prevent a collapse. So they're both bad because one could lead to the other, and they crisscross. Now, your question, let me say really quick, Audrey, your question about the Voyager CEO, yeah, big problem, because I'm like, hey, like, well, I even asked, like, hey, would you put all your money in it? And it's like, oh, well, I got to focus on growing the business. Like, great. But yeah, you're right. There were some dodges to the risk thing. And like, I come from real estate. When I hear 9-8% interest, I'm like, that's a crap load of risk somebody is taking on. So it makes me nervous.
Yeah, the thing is like, I think if they were just, folks were just more open and honest about this, I think we could at least assess our risk and be like, okay, here's what we're looking at, here's the odds of probability. But when, folks like that are almost feel secretive, or maybe they don't actually know what's going on either, which is even a scarier thing. You know, because I've done that before. Like if somebody asks me a question, you know, and I don't really know the answer, I'll just kind of dodge it. And I think we all do that, or
Sure.
you know, and it's just like natural. And so I'm like, what if they actually don't know what's going on? Graham, what do you think? Like where's your level of understanding with all this?
I had two thoughts. When Kevin called me last night, my first thought was, well, what's stopping everyone from going to the bank and asking for all of their money back? We know that banks are leveraged 10 times. So if everyone goes to the bank and said, we want all of our money, there's no way they'd be able to provide that. So my thinking was, well, it might be kind of similar to that. And paying 9% might also be the cost of customer acquisition. A lot of places are paying a lot of money to acquire a customer because they know they might pay you $100, but then they make 500 on the back end. So I think maybe it's a bit of both. But I agree. I think 9% almost free. There's got to be some level of risk to that. There has to be something.
But also banks are regulated and they have proper restrictions on how much, you know, like the fractional reserve banking system. But at the same time, what you said to me, Kevin, was actually kind of scary, where you said every stable coin throughout history has failed, which is kind of interesting.
And here's the reason for that. So like there was an example that I read that said it was like Mexican army generals, like hundreds of years ago, just as one example of one, said, hey, well, I'll guarantee you that this will be like they didn't have the money to basically pay for a moment. What was it? I can't remember the exact example. There was something to the effect of, we'll guarantee you that you'll be able to convert like this item of some sort, this representation, into a guaranteed amount of currency, and that, hey, when we get back from the battlefield or whatever, we have it all in the coffers. But the problem is, then people start, and this is really the future thing that becomes more important rather than this specific example. What becomes more important is what happened in that scenario is exactly what started happening with every stablecoin in history. As soon as somebody creates a stable coin, whether it's an eraser or an IOU of some form, they're like, I will peg the value of this eraser to $1. The person who takes the trust is the person who's guaranteeing that, whether it's BlockFi or it's Voyager or it's me with this eraser. And as soon as that trust breaks down, the whole thing collapses. And the reason the trust usually always fails, and the coins have always failed in the past, is because people start lending them. It's like, okay, well, if this is always going to have the value of $1, hey, let me give this eraser to Jeremy, and I'm going to go buy something else with the money I get from Jeremy, or whatever, right? And so it's the lending and borrowing that has always led to the collapse of stablecoins in the past, which is literally exactly what's happening with these stablecoins.
So are we kind of talking about derivatives now? I mean, this would be like the derivatives market.
Well, I mean, in theory, right? Because like, I think the weird thing is, I mean, it's complicated because the value. So a derivative means one asset has their value derived off of another.
Yeah.
Yeah. So, you know, the value of mortgage-backed securities is based on the value of the underlying real estate. So the underlying real estate collapses, your MBS loses value. So just an example there. The problem here with this lending thing is, if I deposit $100 to Gemini and then they lend out my 100 GUSD, I look at my account, I'm like, I got 100 GUSD in my account. I feel like I have that 100 GUSD. So it's kind of like giving a loan, but I'm not actually giving anything, which is weird. But then Jeremy deposits $100. He's like, I got 100 GUSD. Everybody feels like they have 100 GUSD, but nobody actually does.
So off that $100, you're creating a balance sheet that says 200, 300 GUSD. It's like, you've no idea what the real actual thing is. Yeah. And the only thing that's scary versus banks, like Graham was saying, is that with crypto, it's so volatile that you have all these new investors that they have no idea what to do. So they run on the bank, essentially. They run on BlockFi, and then they try to claim their money. And because there's no liquidity, boom, there's your stablecoin collapse. People don't do that.
That's crazy about when and if Bitcoin crashes one day. What happens when Bitcoin crashes is the first thing companies do who mine Bitcoin is they stop mining Bitcoin because it's not profitable anymore at certain prices. Guess what happens when people stop mining Bitcoin? Transactions take 5-10 times longer to process. When transactions take longer to process, liquidity plummets exponentially.
I'm not sure that's how it works. I have to look that up, but I'm not sure that's
Yeah,
100%
no.
true.
If people stop mining, transaction speed will slow down because liquidity in the system will slow down.
There won't be people that stop mining, because at a certain point, once enough miners leave, then there's more incentive to come and mine the reward, because now there's less miners to split that up with. So there will always be
big
somebody mining
profit
it.
center though now is not the fee, it's the value of the coin. And so people are assuming like, okay, if I could mine 0.001 Bitcoin every day or hour or whatever their rate is,
Right.
the big thing now is the value. I mean, you're getting $55,000 for a Bitcoin. The fee's not there yet. I know in the future, once Bitcoin is fully mined, the theory is that the fee will carry it, but I don't think the fee carries it right now.
It does, because even before the 54, 55, 60, whatever $1,000 it was, people were still mining it by the boatload, even when it was below $10,000. So the network's not going to disappear just because there's less miners now. And the block time is still going to be 10 minutes. The transaction time will not change. If you have more miners on the network, it does not increase the transaction time. It stays at 10.
I'll have to do some research on that.
Guys,
I want to believe you. I'm skeptical.
Yeah.
Guys, let's come back to this subject later, because Graham and my brains are just heating up. They're getting too hot
Yeah,
right
we're
now.
getting
Let's
fried.
talk about something simple, like GameStop stock. Okay, what happened with those earnings? I saw the stock tank that was out, spending way too much money at a furniture store, so I didn't get to see like what happened with the stock price. I saw what happened with stock price, but I didn't see the earnings. What happened there, Kevin? Do they double miss on EPS and revenue, or what happened?
Gosh, sorry, I just checked GameStop. Sorry.
And then
Yeah, no, I've been out of it all day.
at some point we'll have to circle back to whether or not we're buying or selling BTC, but we'll save that as like
we will.
so on GameStop, I think honestly people were really hoping to hear the CEO hype the future, the transition. The numbers. Come on, were we really expecting GameStop to moon off
Hold on,
earnings?
sorry. I gotta take a quick little recording break. Okay, let's hop back into it. Jump back into it.
Come on, people wanted vision. They wanted the CEO to go in there. Look, we're partnering with Ryan. Here's what's gonna happen. We're gonna change the stores into this. We're going to increase sales by doing this. And then people wanted to go, yeah, let's do that. Right? We didn't get that. We literally, this is what we got. Revenues for the third quarter were this. Revenues for this were this. That's a 3% increase. This decrease. It was bullcrap.
Yeah. So Graham, is it over? Is this whole GameStop situation over now, or do you think this has potential to come back? What's your opinion?
I can't help but feel it's been over for a week and a half, 2 weeks now. I feel like after the first pump, it was never going to be the same afterwards. And so far it hasn't. I just think people get bored and their attention after a few days is going to go to something else. I think so many of these investors are so impatient that if it doesn't do anything within 5 days, okay, it didn't work. What else now? Where's the next one? I think people just want immediate gratification. And I can't see it having the same hype as it did back then when it pumped to 450.
Yeah, it's funny. I agree with that, Graham, in terms of this whole I need the stock price to go up this week, because I go to some of the message boards on Yahoo, if I'm messing around one night, and Corsair, Tattooed Chef, whatever stock, and people would be like, this is our week, guys. It's gonna skyrocket this week. We're gonna go up big. And I'm just like who cares what happens this week? It matters what happens over the next 3, 5, 7 years with these stocks. But
nobody wants to hear that, Chairman.
Yeah, I know.
Everybody wants their tendies now.
Well,
yes.
Yeah, it depends. It depends on who you're dealing with.
Wall Street Bets
Chicken
is looking
candies.
at this video and they're like, ooh, you just wait, Graham. We're gonna up this to the moon. I would not be surprised if there's another major pump from God knows where, but yeah.
I don't think it'll be in GameStop though. I think
it might. Yeah, you're right. Maybe Dogecoin.
Graham, what would you say is the percentage GameStop goes to another record high? Let's say it goes to $500, 1%, less than 1%, 5%.
This is just me purely guessing here. I don't know. Probably 5%. I
What
think
would you say, Andre?
it's more likely to hit $50 than
I'm gonna
$5.
say 50-50 because if it happens, I could take more credit. No, realistically, like 10%. Yeah, 1 out of 10.
Like
But they'll
10%.
probably find another stock. Yeah.
You never got into GameStop, right, Kevin? Or did you? Just for the fun of it?
For the fun of it, I
Okay.
did put some money in, but I said as I was doing it, I remember saying, "This is stupid. Don't do it." But the problem is sometimes when I'm on a live stream, I do stupid things, and it's like it's part of the show almost.
Yeah.
It's sometimes the stupid things are actually hilarious to work out. Like I bought 3 Bitcoin at $35,000, totally from a joke, and you know. Immediately all this hate because I did it on Robinhood, but it was totally for the entertainment purposes. But I mean, from then I got more interested in Bitcoin, and obviously, I mean that each of those coins is up like what 19 grand right now, depending on how much this crashes here. We'll see. But you know, so I mean, yeah, no, seriously, no.
Okay.
Jeremy, you know that I own Tesla stock? I actually bought some Tesla stock after we did a video together.
No, I didn't.
Yeah.
I really didn't think you ever owned any. Do you mind sharing how much? Or
I
Bought
was
one share.
experimenting with fractional shares, honestly. And I
Okay.
bought at an average cost of $95. I am up 591%.
oh my god.
My market value of my portfolio for Tesla is $6.92.
Oh, come on, are you serious?
Yeah.
Did you buy $1?
What
I
is
bought
wrong?
$1 on video to test the fractional shares on Robinhood when they released it. And I was like, you know what? Tesla's so expensive. I'm just going to buy some Teslas.
Come on.
Wait, I remember this video actually. I remember because I think you got into fractional before I did because not everybody got it at
Yeah.
the same time.
Yeah.
So at the same time, and I didn't make a video.
Sorry, ads.
Yeah.
So at the same time, and I didn't make a video, but at the same time, I bought what did I buy?
$1 million.
Apple.
Yeah.
No. I bought $1 of Apple on Cash App.
Oh, that's
at
great.
the same time. I don't know if
Can't
this
really
is
see
gonna
it.
focus.
You
It's
gotta
not
turn your
there it
brightness.
is.
There it is.
Wow.
268.
Wow.
I bought
Apple, $1.
I bought AMD, I think. AMD on Cash App. Yeah, it's actually not a bad app. It's really straightforward.
What's the one either crypto and stock, whatever, that you really wanted to buy but you never bought it because maybe you thought it was too expensive, and then you ended up, it ended up going up a ton?
Sorry, let me just want to say really
Is
quick.
it Tesla,
I screwed
Andre?
that up.
Yeah.
I screwed that up. Sorry. It's 157 is the value of Apple because apparently I have $1 invested in Apple. It went up to 157. Okay, that seems more accurate. But I did put $1 into AMC apparently at some point, and that's up 11 cents.
Oh,
Okay.
nice.
I don't know where that came from.
There we go.
What about you,
sorry.
Graham? You ever find a stock or a crypto or something or real estate property for that matter that you really, really wanted to buy so bad, and for some reason maybe you got a little too greedy around price, let's say, and you didn't buy it? Any examples?
Yeah, well, there were two. In terms of real estate, there was a deal in Las Vegas, of all places. It was in Las Vegas, and they wanted like $85,000 for a 3-bedroom house. And I thought this house was worth like 80 because it had like a little bit of water damage, and so I didn't buy it because I figured it's going to take too much to get fixed up. Now that place must be worth like 250.
When was this, Graham? What year were we talking?
That would have been 2012.
2012. Okay, yeah, that's right around when the market bottomed here in Vegas. Interesting.
So, and then weird story from that, but didn't buy it. The new buyer. I was in escrow actually on that place, and I decided to back out. With some damage. The new buyer bought it, closed a few weeks later, and there was some sort of electrical fire that happened in the house. Half the house burnt down, and then that owner apparently got a big insurance claim from that. Rebuilt the house. So that would have been me having to rebuild that. I mean, maybe it would have been worth now way more, had I built it. But
no, Graham, that might have saved your life, man. Because you might have been like going on a trip to Vegas, and knowing you didn't want to spend all that money at a hotel room. You stay in that house, you could have burned up.
Stayed there. No, I would 100% not have stayed there.
Hey, I know where you and Kevin stayed in Detroit. Don't tell me you wouldn't have stayed there.
All right,
Kevin,
all right, that's fair. That's fair.
What happened when you guys went to Detroit, Kevin? I heard about this story once before.
I saw that
but I don't think
video.
that people really know.
Graham,
What happened?
Mr.
Graham got robbed,
over a
didn't
million
he?
subs at the time's like, let's sort by lowest price.
In Detroit. In Detroit.
I didn't know. I honestly, it seemed fine. Like the place looked nice in pictures. It looked totally fine. I honestly, I thought we're gonna stay there. It's just a place to come and crash at night. We're gonna be gone all day, go back at night and sleep.
Yeah,
That's the
and then
thing.
Graham's so innocent and friendly. He starts telling the cab driver, Uber driver, or whatever. Oh yeah, we have successful YouTube channels, and yeah, I got all these properties, blah blah blah. And the next thing you know, it's nighttime, and cars are starting to like park with like no lights on by the house.
Yeah, I thought the guy was friendly. I thought the guy was friendly, so I just strike up a conversation. We're here to buy real estate. We're here to look at things. We're filming them, and I don't know. The guy was really nice. So yeah, but it was Kevin. Kevin, you brought someone with you to help you film. It was him who's like, dude, I can't believe you told them that. Like this, I think it was one of his friends that got mugged. Was it in Europe or something? Like he talked a little bit too much information.
I think it was like Bulgaria.
Yeah. So
Anyway.
he was doing what I was doing, told the guy too much information. Then the guy told his friends, came back and mugged them. So now they got it in our head, like, listen, you told them all the information. He could come and he knows where we're staying. He could come and like just show up and take all of our stuff. We have all this camera equipment with us. And so yeah, that got us freaked out. And then at like 2:00 in the morning, we see a car pull up in front of the house with its lights turned off, but the car was running and there were people inside the car. And so we look outside the thing and we see people in the car that look like they're talking to each other. And we're like, oh crap, like what if? So I post on Instagram, and within minutes, someone responded back saying, yeah, man, I'll pick you up and pick this up. And
that was crazy. How
awesome.
fast. Like Graham's like, I need basically whatever you said, but within like literally seconds, you had people messaging you multiple after multiple, like, oh yeah, hey, we could drive you over here to this hotel or whatever. Like the amount of connections you had in Detroit from the IG was insane.
Yeah,
man.
it's honestly, Instagram is a lifesaver. If I need, like, I had the couch in the living room that I need to get rid of, I posted on Instagram, and within minutes I sold the couch. Just little favors like that. Sometimes I needed some help or something like that. Oh yeah, I needed some help installing some curtains. I kid you not, and you need an extra set of hands. So I posted on Instagram. I met the coolest person from doing that. He was like, yeah, man, I live 5 minutes away. I'll help you. Done.
The problem with you selling stuff is people will literally just buy it to meet you. Like
fine,
you
but
could
they
sell.
resell it.
Yeah, you could sell any used car or product or whatever, probably for a premium and profitably solely for imbuing your touch.
Like the headphones.
You're calling Graham Midas?
I didn't meet you.
Wait, Kevin, do you actually get how much you get for those headphones, Kevin?
Well, I did. It was a donation. It was a charity. A Children's Heart Foundation. It was 14 grand. I rounded it to 15 grand. And
They actually paid.
14,500. Yeah, they paid $14,500. eBay took a $500 fee on a donation thing, and it's like, gosh, thanks. And so I threw in the K and rounded to 15, wired it.
Hey, I've been zoned out for the last 3 minutes because Kevin, you're just starting to make me real mad. You know what you did. I haven't been able to focus for the last 3 minutes ever since. What is going on here, man? You just know how to get under my skin, don't you? Don't you?
You started it.
What did I do? I didn't do a thing.
The breakup
name.
of Millennial Money Part 2.
It's your name.
I just want to know why you hate Tattoo Chef. No, I'm just kidding. Okay, we can't go down the Tattoo Chef part anymore. Oh my gosh,
Oh no.
Kevin got out
Consumer
early.
Preferences are changing.
Kevin, you're gonna be. Don't be that guy that whenever you sold out of or no, you didn't sell out of Tesla, but remember Graham sold out of Tesla and then he looked like a genius and you kept buying in and then you might end up being that guy, man.
I know. I'm being the person I get upset of for the comedy effect. But no, I mean, like we were talking about earlier, the short term doesn't matter. In fact, I mentioned earlier this morning, just saying, hey, quite frankly, if TTCF keeps going down, I wouldn't mind putting that money back in. Like if it goes to like 18, I'll be like, look, I gotta pick a food company. That'd be the cheapest one. It's not that far away from it. Who cares about I don't care about the short term. Hey, if I prices keep falling here the next couple weeks, I'll go shopping again. Maybe that'll be on the list.
But the thing is, like TTCF has like 5x, 10x plus potential. Do you see that with that company, or do you just not see it? Do you see this?
Nikola has 5x potential.
You think it has 5x potential?
No.
Wait, what?
No. What? Potential is a very subjective word. No. Look, I want to see. We want to see it. We got to see the margins. We'll see what happens. If it keeps selling off, hey, might be interesting for some diversification. Although lately it's been, obviously it's been trading a little bit more on the rough side. But that's again very short term. I can't figure out which it trades with. If it trades more like a recovery or tech at this point. The entire market's just been getting battered though. This last month. Really, we're coming up on like 4.5 weeks now. It's been painful. The market's just been pretty crappy for most people.
But here's the thing with TTF stock, I feel like you're viewing that as such from such a perspective of, let's see the margins. Like you're not viewing this at all in the same light you would view a Tesla, because you would never talk about this sorts of things if you're like.
Well, no, I do.
I do. You're telling me you would start investing in Tesla because of the margins Tesla has today.
Hell yeah.
Whatever. Get out of here. You invest in Tesla because of the future, man. Not because of what margins they have today. No way.
They've taken Tesla margin from like 18% to 24% if you adjust for the pandemic. It's insane. Elon projects margins will go to 30%.
Tesla does have good numbers.
That's projecting the future too, and that's fine. Margins.
I'm not even great with numbers, and I'll show you guys what numbers I see.
Manufacturer that's as young as Tesla is, the margins today are actually pretty freaking incredible, and they haven't even fully innovated.
This gets to at least 10 likes.
Scaled those yet? Then you jump over to the fact. I can't believe this. Okay, this is where I fall off my chair. Kathy Wood thinks when we get to autonomy, we could be at 40% margins at Tesla. I'm like, oh, wow. I have met somebody way more bullish than me.
We should talk about that, because Kathy Wood, I'm sure you saw her numbers. She's got 5 to 10 mil in 2024. I personally, as a Tesla bull, I don't see that. What do you see them doing delivered? In 2025? You think they're going to hit those numbers?
Cars delivered? No. I think 10 is impossible.
Yeah.
Okay, like maybe that's like a 2%, like, wow, everything just worked out. And Saudi Arabia is like, here's 50 bill, go produce 5 factories or whatever, sure, then you could put stuff together fast. But wow, I mean, that margin is very, very high. The delivery numbers are very, very high. Elon Musk rebutted her and kind of dampened that expectation a little bit as well on Twitter, suggesting like, hey.
Okay, Peloton, who's ready to work? Kendall's 30-minute pop ride. This should be fun.
Get at-home motivation anytime you want it.
We are climbing through this chorus. Let's get it.
Tap into your motivation at onepeloton.com.
Hey, it's all about that manufacturing. Got to get that to scale.
So Jeremy, Kevin, as a non-Tesla investor, and maybe somebody who's watching this right now is not
You're a Tesla investor.
Yeah, $7 worth. But if I'm on the fence and I'm trying to decide and I'm more growth oriented, I love VTI. I love VOO. I love the 2 ETFs that I can change and like buy back and forth as a tax loss harvesting, because they're basically the same. But you've heard of that strategy. It's amazing.
Just be careful, man.
What are you talking about? What?
If they're substantially similar, it's blurry. The IRS is funny, man.
No, that's not true. That's not a wash sale. That's all good. That's considered good. But if I'm on the fence about Tesla, is there anything you could say to convince me to invest in Tesla? Is there like a case that you can make in like a couple minutes or a minute that would make somebody bullish?
I could make a case, but I could also make a case that Tesla's not the best investment in the market in terms of risk reward. I don't even think it's close. I don't even think it's remotely close.
Okay. I mean, I want to hear that.
Stocks off the top of my head that I think have better risk rewards than Tesla. But with that being said, here's the thing, like you have
What are
to
they?
first believe that all vehicles in the future down the road will be electric vehicles, right?
Right.
Yeah.
If you can't get there, then you can't imagine Tesla, right? So let's say 10 years from now, everybody that goes to buy a new car is an electric car. Well, Tesla's clearing away the premier player when it comes to electric vehicles, right? So as long as they continue to maintain this, or at least keep innovating, keep their pedal to the metal, they should be the number one player when it comes to EVs. So, and the way I like to think about it, I think they can have between a 25 to 50% market share in North America when it comes to the total
Wow.
vehicle.
That's more bullish than I am.
Yeah, which is we've never seen that in modern history. I think they're going to have an Apple-esque type market share for electric vehicles. I really do.
How many years ahead are they of other auto manufacturers that are trying to do EVs?
Probably 3 to 6, depending on which company it is. So
Okay.
they're 3 to 6 years in front of everybody. So I'm just
Hold
looking
on,
at.
hold on. What makes them 3 to 6 years ahead? Their charging stations, their factories, their battery technology. What is it about them that is hard
Battery
for companies
tech.
to replicate?
Yeah, the batteries.
Okay.
Also, like the way the vehicles just work, phenomenal. Autonomous driving, and or self-driving, whatever you want to call it. And then also, yeah, I think the charging stations. I mean, I just don't think you can replicate that in any quick amount of time.
And what happened with the full self-driving that got canceled? I read that where.
Stop. You're kidding, right?
No.
I'm just kidding.
Okay. No, for real. Wasn't that? Didn't Elon say that's going to be put on hold? How serious was that?
I don't think it was very serious. I don't know what your opinion is, Kevin. If you got a different opinion, I don't think it was that serious. I think it's
Doesn't
just
look like Kevin had
talk
heard
that
about it.
happens sometimes.
I don't know if you guys are punking me. I made a whole video about this.
You did, yeah.
I didn't see it.
I didn't see it, Kevin.
Okay. So
I got
okay,
chatted.
fine. I thought y'all pulled my leg. No. Okay, short version.
Yes.
Elon Musk said, "Hey, who wants to sign up for the full self-driving beta?" I replied within like 30 seconds. So many people replied, though, unfortunately, that Elon Musk says, "Hey, we're going to come out with a button, and we're going to let people click sign up for beta because then we don't have to manually do it." Makes sense. Have a button, automate it, get it. He says, "Okay, maybe in 10 days we'll have a button." Well, like 15 days go by, and he says, "Hey, look, here's the thing. Right now we're in version 8.2, and I'm extending his verbiage a little bit. Right now we're in 8.2. We're going to 8.3. The problem is we're going to a massive upgrade from version 8 to version 9 to where we're not going to be using single camera data anymore. We're going to be using surround camera data, surround video, where like they're merging multiple images at the same time to make algorithmic decisions. And it makes more sense for them to say, hey, let's open up the floodgates of beta testers in version 9, not in the version that we know we're axing. Like, why get people in on version 8 when we know we're going to version 9 next month? All he said is we'll do the button when we come out with the new version next month. Literally zero delay on the self-driving version 9, zero delay on the current self-driving, zero delay on the current beta test, no delays. But Benzinga runs a story going, Elon Musk cancels full self-driving update, working on further updates or whatever. And I'm like, I did a video freaking out about it. Like, what the F? This is the worst clickbait possible. So, I put in the title like wrong. I should have put fake news, but that would have been possibly too political.
Yeah, I figured it was clickbait. It was like, yeah, boy cry wolf. What was it? I totally forget.
Yeah, exactly. Yeah, but it was so
Andre,
annoying because it's like,
say wolf.
What?
Yeah, there
Say
was
wolf.
Wolf.
there wasn't in the article itself. They didn't even say the word cancel once.
Right.
It's like, come on.
Yeah, they're trying to compete with the YouTubers, bro. We got to clickbait. That's what you get. Okay, so Jeremy, you were saying so they're ahead of the batteries. How about the charging station? So I know Porsche with the Taycan.
No, they're very.
Yeah, it was like there was one charging station here in Vegas, which is crazy to me how that's a thing. How is that possible that you could have a car with one charging station in the whole town?
Exactly. Yeah, I think that's another thing. Like, the amount of money it takes to build out a supercharger network like Tesla's done, and the time and the logistics and figuring all that out is another thing that I think Tesla's multi-years ahead of everybody. And so, yeah, I mean, you have multi things here on why Tesla's years ahead. And then you're also going to have this little factor that people are going to get used to kind of using Tesla's product. And I feel like it's going to become more intuitive and things like that. And it's kind of almost like the Apple advantage nowadays, right? Where, over time, Apple was really far in front of everybody. But then a lot of companies ended up catching up to Apple in terms of like the hardware. But people that want iPhones still want iPhones because
they surpassed Apple. Apple is not the best tech in town, but people are still paying premiums just because it's Apple. So you're thinking that that'll happen with Tesla too.
It's possible, but that could be more like the autonomous taxi network. Like, if they have this most seamless product, the easiest, let's say you want a car after this video, and Tesla's the quickest to get there by far, and let's say just the best experience, you're probably going to take them, even if I don't know, there's somebody else out there, because you just get used to doing it. And that's the advantage for the autonomous taxi network, I think, over time too.
Is the are they licensing the use of their supercharging stations for other companies?
From my understanding, no one uses it. I think Elon's open to that idea, but I don't think anybody's set up so they can charge their cars at Tesla. I don't know, but then again, I think I have seen signs before that it says only for Tesla. So maybe
it's just Tesla.
Yeah,
it's just Tesla. Okay, but they're open to the idea of licensing it. They just haven't yet.
I heard they were, but then again, if you think about it, if there's going to be a ton more Teslas on the road, you don't want those superchargers to be too overwhelmed, and then somebody pulls up with a V-dub into a Tesla charger, and it's like, hey man, I actually have a Tesla. Let me in.
If someone creates an adapter and some workaround for that, there's got to be someone out there who's done that and figured that out.
It's more than that though, because here's the thing. It's not just the plug, which Tesla is the only one with this non-standard plug, but it's the fact that when you go to a Tesla supercharger, you don't have to take out your phone. You don't have to go, I'm at this terminal, I'm using this plug, I'm in this location, here's my credit card. There's none of that.
Right.
It's just, you plug it in, the plug communicates with the car, and Tesla knows who you are, and here's your charging.
Yeah. But you got to understand though, Kevin, here's the thing, there's much simpler ways to take road trips. Like, let's say hypothetically you buy like $1,000 Volvo, you just gas it up in 2 minutes, and then you're
great.
Vegas.
Just wait until you see it.
Graham, give us an update on the Volvo situation. What's going on with that?
So Jack just picked up the car. Was it yesterday? So yesterday, we got insurance, I believe, today, and
I wish I would have talked to Jack the other night, because I would have convinced him to do a prank on you where he like calls you and he's like, dude, you won't believe it, I'm broke down in like the desert. Because you love to play pranks on him. That would have been so funny.
No, I knew he wouldn't be driving. There's the car.
Okay.
That's it. Look how nice that looks. Come on.
Anybody want to say anything, or are we just going to go on to the next subject?
It does look nice. Decent.
I'll leave this here.
You'll just leave it there for us? Okay.
Yeah.
Oh my goodness. That's
there you go.
Yeah.
Cancel Graham.
Oh goodness. Aye, man. That's something else. We also need updates on the aquarium and the pool, Graham. Tell us a little bit about that. How's that in there?
No update on the aquarium. Nothing is going to happen until mid-April. So that's when the water goes in. After mid-April, it'll be good. Then it's got to cycle through for a month. So not much is happening on that. We got landscape.
Grow algae or whatever?
No, it just got to cycle through. So there's some bacteria that's supposed to grow in the tank, and it's supposed to mature a little bit so that when you put fish in, it's got everything ready for that.
Yeah, okay, because otherwise they could get shocked if maybe the environment's not right or whatever.
It's too sterile.
Okay.
But then I got the you know what? I don't have any pictures of the landscape, but here's the pool.
Margin call?
Only pay for what you need with Liberty Mutual.
Ads.
I just said that.
Feels weird picking it up. The legacy of that
so far. Kind of see it, but that's the pool in the back, and then I got a whole bunch of trees and everything in the back. They just got installed, but that's it.
That's cool.
So, yeah, that's a dirty window.
For like sniper strategic purposes, you have a disadvantage in that backyard.
Oh, I know. I just need a good laser pointer to point up at
the Nerf gun. Yeah. Wait, speaking, actually, is there any other asset class in your guys' portfolio that you wish you wanted to own more of. Like for me, it's real estate. I wish I owned more real estate.
We've been telling you for a while.
Yeah, that's one thing. Is there anything? I feel like Jeremy, I can't hear you. Oh, we can't hear you. He's like, no, I
Jeremy,
can't
buy
hear
a new mic. Or
I'm not
invest
sure
in
if
a
you're
real
just
one.
mouthing or if it's broken.
Yeah.
Jeremy, you can get that
Yeah,
Shure
no,
SMB
can't hear
7.
you. I'm assuming he was going to say Bitcoin and lots of it. I think that's it. Now.
Yeah.
I know
know.
Kevin,
I
he's
want
gonna like
less.
everything.
I want to do the Graham, where except Graham is so bored. Apparently, he has to buy a fish tank and a Volvo. But I want to be in the position to just focus on less, like less earnings calls, less stocks, less crap. Like
Yeah.
if you're too diversified, it's a freaking headache.
Can you hear me now?
Yes, there we go. You're back.
Okay, I'm sorry. I messed up everything on my computer here just a minute ago when I tried to plug it in.
Was I right or was I right?
That's what she said.
I was gonna say you want to buy the house this house. I'll sell you this house for a good price, Andre.
How much is it?
I'll sell it to you for 900,000. How about that?
What?
Oh my God.
That's insane. How much? What's the bed?
It's almost 4,000.
Okay, and how many bedrooms and bathrooms?
5 bedrooms,
Oh wow.
4.5 baths.
Okay, sorry about that. Let's jump back into it.
All right.
It's in a great neighborhood, man. We got a great school system. You're in the premier part of Henderson. You know, you want to be up near Seven Hills, man. No realtor fee.
Why wouldn't you just rent it out?
It's so much work.
It's a headache.
Yeah.
Really? All right.
You're not going to make that much money if you rent it out. I mean, Jeremy, you might cash flow. What was it, like 1,500?
I don't, yeah, something like that. Yeah, because I could probably get
$1,000 place.
Yeah.
Sorry,
it's probably,
what?
I mean, talk to us about the headache of renting out properties, Graham. Is it good? Is it bad? Like you've done it for so many years. Let us know.
You know you've made it in life when you're like, it's not worth the $1,500 a month. Like, the headache.
When you consider here, it would be different if Jeremy's buying a place for $300,000 and he's making $1,500 a month. For $900,000, you should be making more than $1,500 a month.
Well, maybe he is. Is that because you're not paid off yet? That's why.
It's because he overappraised by 600,000.
Right. No, I know it's worth at least 500 or 600. I don't know how much
More than that.
actually.
It's probably worth 750.
750. Yeah, I can see that.
I think I could get 800 for it. But anyways, at least 800. But I'll give it to you for a cheaper price, like 900 in bitcoins, Andre.
In bitcoins, that's my whole portfolio, bro.
Hey, Graham, but no, seriously, talk us through. And Kevin, you guys have actually rented out properties for many years. Like, is this a simple process? Is it a nightmare? Like talk us through this, because I've never rented a property to anybody, so I don't even know.
I don't know. I feel like it's great in terms of building your wealth. But the issue becomes when you have limited time, it takes time to manage it properly. And you can get a property manager, but still you're managing the manager. And on one of my places, I got the property manager on it, but there was an issue with like some landscape clearance that they needed taken care of. And also an HVAC unit went out, and that was a $2,100 repair. And we got multiple bids on that. And it was just, you know what? It's when your time is so limited, it becomes just, it's not worth it at that point. Now, in the beginning, 100%. I owe so much to investing in real estate. It's just beyond a certain point, it becomes difficult to manage that in conjunction with like 30 other things.
Okay, it's interesting how when it comes to our incomes and our time, the advice is so different than 99% of the people that are literally watching this video. So it's like,
That's why we got to find out, do we buy Bitcoin or do we sell Bitcoin at this point?
Right. It all comes back to Bitcoin.
Bitcoin and GameStop.
I want to know, like, when would you sell your crypto, Graham?
I don't think I would.
Prepare to lose it.
I've consistently been doing 5,000 a week in Bitcoin. And
Yeah,
I try within a week, by the way, I try to time it. And I have little limits set up at like 55, 50, like right before it hits 55 or like 54, 56, whatever it's at, I just set a limit. If it hits, it hits. If not, if not. But I kind of have fun every week trying to time it just for
What's
fun.
your portfolio at?
250,
5,000.
5,000 on.
Okay, too. That's great. And then Jeremy, you still haven't bought any. Yeah, right. Okay.
No, so yeah, I haven't, but I still own the MSTR stock. So I mean, it's like a direct.
Same, bro. That's a derivative.
I know, but the only reason I'm in that stock is literally because of all the Bitcoin they have. So I'm like, it, you know, is I don't know. So maybe it makes sense for me to sell MSTR and buy just Bitcoin straight up. Could you maybe?
Yeah.
Okay.
I mean, if you want to own it through stocks, then Riot Blockchain, that's a minor company. So
yeah, and that stock's gone crazy. Do you own any of that stock?
I don't. I talked about it in my video, but I don't like. I see no point in owning a mining company if I already have so much in Bitcoin. It's just like redundant. Even though, I mean, it's not technically redundant. Those stocks are appreciating way faster than Bitcoin is.
Wait,
I wonder why. What's up?
Which stocks?
Riot.
Oh, the miners.
How do you feel, Andre? How do you feel about buying, like, let's say, you know, like Voyager has VGX, or I think BlockFi might have a, you know, some sort of coin of their own. How do you feel about buying those coins?
VGX?
Yeah, VGX is from Voyager, and I think some other the crypto companies have their own coins. Like, how do you feel? What do you think about that?
Why would I buy the coins and not the stock?
Well, because essentially the coin, there's like different things they could do, like with loyalty programs and things like that over time. So there could be actually an immense amount of demand for those coins over time if they roll out like loyalty programs, rewards programs, so many different things. Like imagine they have a debit card or credit card over time, and how many different things they could, you know, reasons you'd want a VGX coin. So, I mean, you ever thought about that?
No, I haven't actually looked into it. I'll look into that.
I almost kind of would rather own Voyager Digital than crypto. I don't know, am I crazy?
Yes.
Okay.
Yeah, I don't think so, because here's the thing, you know, with Voyager, let's say you buy Voyager stock, you're buying the potential for not just being, you know, potentially one of the biggest crypto brokerages, but you're also buying a potential stock brokerage down the road, right? You're buying potential debit cards, credit cards down the road, and bank accounts, and so many different things that, you know, you buy, let's say Bitcoin, there's nothing wrong with that, but what can Bitcoin do other than maybe we can, you know, make transactions through it, right? You know, Ethereum's exciting, right? And I own a little bit of Ethereum, but I mean, you know, how do you value Ethereum over time? That's a tough part. Like Voyager, I know how to value that based upon cash flows that come in, revenue that comes in, net income that comes in over time. With Ethereum, like how do we value Ethereum over time? So
just based on usability, yeah, and I guess scarcity wouldn't be one of them because there's an infinite supply. But hopefully, once they move to Ethereum 2.0, where they have more control over the inflation, that's when we'll see it. I think Ethereum is where it's at right now. It's gonna appreciate much more than Bitcoin is once it moves over to 2.0.
Yeah. So. Yeah, and Graham, do you have any investments in any of the like crypto brokerages or like anything in that whole space?
I don't. I don't know.
You guys, by the way, sorry to interrupt.
Yeah.
Did you see the Robinhood IPO that they filed? They secretly filed an IPO.
Did they?
Yes.
Nobody's been talking about that.
Because they secretly filed it. They didn't say anything.
Yeah.
Filed confidential for IPO. Oh, this is just a few hours ago.
They were like, exit point. No, I am leaving now. No, I don't know. I gotta look into that.
Yeah.
But there's no valuation, nothing, because
wow. You know what's funny? I don't know if this is done on purpose. On CNN Business, says Robinhood files confidentially for IPO,
Yep.
and then right below that is an ad for Public with
Of
Michael
course it
Bolton.
is.
It's the first video that plays.
Yeah, totally intentional.
Wow. That's hilarious. Michael Bolton wants you to break up with Robinhood.
Why do you guys think they made it so secretive and they didn't announce anything?
Ah, man, that's a lot of good questions around that. You know what I think? I think they should have went public a couple years ago. I think that would have been ingenious. I think they got greedy with staying in VC land so long. They should have went public a couple years ago because I feel like with the mistakes they've made, I feel like if they had a massive quantity of investors that were investing in that company, they would have been able to slide so much better. If there were massive amounts of people that were investing in that company. But because no one's invested in it, nobody has Robinhood's back other than maybe Robinhood, right? And the Robinhood employees.
Yeah, no, it's so interesting. I don't know how well it's going to do because every retail investor is like furious with them. If you see the Wall Street Bets Reddit, they're like, "Oh, take them down." It's like it's crazy.
The problem is, I do wonder what percentage of users are actually part of YouTube and Wall Street Bets and this particular drama.
Right.
It's very likely that we are overexposed to this because everyone on YouTube talks about this. Everyone on Wall Street Bets talks about this. We could be a blip in the radar
Like
for
10%.
the user base.
At maximum, you're saying that's our exposure. That's our audience.
I mean, I have no idea on the user base, but I think there are a lot of people who they hear about Robinhood, they sign up, they like it, and they live their lives. They don't talk about stocks every day. They don't go on trading forums every day, right? I think the vast majority of people, they got their Robinhood, they put a few $100 in a week or whatever, buy a couple stocks, they're out of there.
The thing is it's not like everybody's going to mass leave Robinhood. I think the big question around the IPO is it's got a rich valuation. It's got a huge valuation, and you need a lot.
How do you know what the value is?
I think they're talking about wasn't it over 40 billion, 40 or 60 billion.
Yeah,
$40 to $60 billion.
60.
Yeah. Did you see that?
That's what they've just been talking about
I
recently.
read about that too. Yeah, 60.
No, I think that's based on prior funding rounds, but not what they're thinking in terms of listing at.
Well,
so
then
like,
it would be
they
even
could
bigger.
list higher is my point. Exactly.
Yeah.
The number would go higher.
Yeah, and so that's the big question. I mean, you need a lot of people to really truly believe in Robinhood and like have Robinhood's back. And it'll be interesting to see who actually does it, because I don't see a lot of people that do.
It's going to come down to their profit. How much freaking money are they making?
They're not making much.
I mean, we'll see. If they're printing tendies, man, it's going to be juicy. If they're losing money still, it's going to be a problem.
They have to be. They have to be making a decent amount of money. No,
but the thing is not to fill that type of valuation. That's the thing. That's the big part.
But they have so many ways that they could be making money. So many different ways if they ever want to go into full-on banking or loans, or they issue a credit card. I feel like there's so many different ways they could do this.
I just feel like the fallout from the whatever, let's say 10% of their users, that bad news travels fast. And I feel like if they want to expand, like Jeremy was saying, they should have done that a long time ago before all this stuff happened. They should have IPO'd a long time ago. And they should have gotten into this stuff beforehand. Now I think it's going to be hard for them to try to gain trust back into things like banking and credit cards. It's going to be like, it's like I've met people that have never downloaded the app that have literally told me like, "Oh, Robinhood, isn't that one app that like stole money from people?" And I'm like, "Where did you hear that? How did you?" That's what I'm saying. Like even people that haven't heard about it have this negative connotation of it.
Yeah, and in order to fulfill a super big valuation like Robinhood has, you have to have that massive belief in them. And it's like, I mean, if Tesla didn't have its massive belief behind it, Tesla's not trading at the valuation it's trading at. The only reason me, Kevin, will buy 14,000 shares, right, is because he truly believes where that company's going over the next 5-10 years, whatever. Not because of what Tesla's doing today. Because what Tesla's doing today, you can't value it like that. They're just not fulfilling the numbers, right? But when you run it, far out numbers, all of a sudden you're like, okay, this can actually make sense.
Yeah.
You've got, I mean, like you said though, Coinbase 100 bill. You've got Stripe 95 bill. we don't know about the profitability yet here on all these. If Robinhood comes out and they're like, look, we're the most profitable and we've got the biggest amount of users, we don't like it wouldn't surprise me, man. Just wouldn't surprise me. We'll see.
So are you guys going to buy?
I would buy Coinbase.
I would
I
buy
would buy
Coinbase.
Coin, but as long as it's not going to be like $120 billion, something crazy like that. I honestly feel like anywhere around the 60 to 80 range.
Sweet spot.
I throw a little money in that.
Yeah. What about you, Kevin? You gonna buy some Robinhood?
I think it's going to come down to really just how profitable that business is. I'm very curious about that. I'm inclined to think that this is a short-term oopsies. And I, in a weird way, I've also become a believer of no press is bad press. And, when Robinhood's in the news, even in a negative light, all freaking day long for 3 weeks, sometimes it turns heads and you actually in some way create more people being interested in it. Wow, that many people use Robinhood? Oh, I wasn't going to buy GameStop anyway. You could have those people who are like, well, GameStop, that's stupid. They should have stopped trading on that. They should have never allowed it. You're going to have those people. People are like, wow, they make options easy. I mean, you have to say when it comes to options, nobody's got it down like Robinhood yet.
So I guess sorry, Jeremy, I interrupt you. Are you going to buy some too?
Oh, no.
Okay.
I probably not. But I was going to say, you know who makes bank is Stripe. That's the one I would be interested in. I'm telling you guys, like they make probably tens of thousands of dollars, at least $10,000 plus just off me and my business each year. And I don't know how much of that they get because obviously the credit card companies get some, and the
how much are you paying to Stripe?
Oh, I would say 10,000, if not tens of thousands of dollars per year for Stripe. It's significant, man. If it's like a big transaction, I'll look at it. It's like $622 to Stripe out of it.
Wow.
Yeah, yeah. They make, but then again, I know Visa's making a bunch of money off that, right? Or MasterCard or whoever that's going through. So it's not like Stripe is getting all that. But man, what a business model that is. They just basically set up the system. You set up your business on it because you need to run transactions as a business, right? And then it's beautiful. I never talk to Stripe. They don't ever do anything for me really other than just be that facilitator for a transaction.
Yeah.
It's kind of beautiful like Visa, right? Visa, you just run your card and they just make a little bit of money off that each time and run your card. And it's just
microtransactions. That's where it's at. Just make a little tiny fraction of a cent. It reminds me of Office Space. That's all you need is 1/10 of 1 cent. A million times.
Dogecoin.
So investing at IPO day, yes or no? You guys for it or against it? Or you wait after, or do you buy the same day of the IPO?
Are you talking stocks in general, Andre, or you just talking
stocks in general? Yeah, but okay, let's just continue with our example of Robinhood and Coinbase.
I usually like to wait personally. I like to wait and kind of let it play out a little bit, and then come take another look at it 3 months, 6 months down the road. And I even do that with a lot of the SPACs. But yeah, I would love to hear what you guys do.
I agree. I wait too.
Same.
I'm generally inclined to do that. It's just been such a crapshoot because the first IPO I ever bought at IPO was Lemonade at $55 a share. And, it's 100 now or whatever. It ran up to 180 after Motley Fool pumped them. Then I said, I'm going to wait on Airbnb because I don't like buying stocks at IPO. I could have bought it for 144. It's 200. I have not had an opportunity to get it below IPO price again. You look at C3AI, way below IPO price right now. You look at a firm, way below IPO price right now. So it's a crapshoot. I mean, it's just like anything in the short term with stocks. I
wonder if there's something to be said about the
Unity
pandemic and how
is still above
have
IPO.
such a high savings rate now, and people have so much money, and they're bored that maybe investing on IPO day is the better move this time around.
Yeah.
Yeah, because of the hype and the excitement and the exuberance. So maybe you buy it the same day and then you see what it runs up to and then whatever.
Still have my little
Robinhood debit card. I need to get mine. They approved me for that.
I've never used mine.
Yeah, everybody signed up for that and never got it. Hey, everybody watching this, in about 13 to 15 minutes, we're going to start doing some Q&A with you guys, okay? So get your questions queued up. In like 15 minutes, we'll do a bunch of Q&A for you guys, okay? But Okay, so who owns the most Bitcoin here? Is it Andre for sure, or Kevin? Are you giving him a run for his
Kevin
money?
at this point.
No, because I stopped buying. So legitimately, in truth of the title, like I've stopped buying. I've considered selling my Bitcoin to just pay off my margin.
Yeah.
Like, hey, look, I made money on it. I'm up on it. I'm torn because it's like
This is not a wave. It's the chaos of creativity. Now, you can harness that chaos with AI and the computing power of Z. This is the next era of your creativity. Z by HP.
it's like it's okay. Like I like it, but it's not one of those where like I have to have this forever.
Kevin, I thought
don't know.
you were gonna get to $1 million. Wasn't that your
Yeah,
goal?
no, I'm not anymore.
Why?
No, not anymore.
Why?
If it happens with market value, that's fine. So right now I'm at probably, what is that? 250 plus. Oh, okay. 500. So 750. So that means Andre's got me beat.
Wait, why did you stop? What made you stop that?
Oh, well, first of all, it got too expensive. Like my thought was I'll buy now, and I said this initially too, that I'll keep buying until $1 million. You know, if we get some price movements down, like if we see those 40s and stuff. The last time we saw the 40s though, Tesla was on sale. It was really on sale. Like tech was on sale, so I blew all my money on that. And yeah, I mean, would I add now? I don't know. Like if tech skyrocketed, like for me to buy again, tech would have to skyrocket and Bitcoin would have to fall.
This doesn't make any sense to me. This whole, whenever I hear somebody say, Bitcoin is cheap or Bitcoin is too expensive, the whole concept doesn't make any damn sense. You can't do that.
Like, how do you value it?
A stock you can value. You could be like, well, in a 4P metric, this stock's
On a 4P metric.
overvalued, or on a current P or price to sales ratio. Bitcoin, it's what the other guy's willing to pay.
No, that's not true. There are valuable metrics, and then like I don't know exactly the precise way, but there's a lot of network effects that can be valued, whether it's the cost of mining that you can take into account, and the wallets that are being created. So the network is growing, and there is a way to value it, and I should probably know how to do that, but I just have a rough idea.
You can look at usage transactions too. You see the energy usage, despite the actual coin usage is going down. Like the energy usage per coin is going down. Obviously volume is important. Who's holding it? Who's actually putting it in as liquidity? So many different things. I think probably the easiest thing though is just on a technical basis.
Cost of mining,
which is just relative, right?
Yeah.
So.
Interesting. Hey, Graham, what do you think about buying raw land in Vegas?
Oh, geez. I don't know.
Do it in Texas.
And holding them.
So much of it. I mean, you drive through any neighborhood long enough, and eventually you come across dozens, if not hundreds of acres of just raw land that's just sitting there. And so many of those communities too, they're not even communities, just spaces have been vacant for decades. Well, they just patiently wait for them to be developed. I would never buy raw land without the expectation of building in the next year or two.
Right.
Interesting. Yeah. Because I mean, imagine, you can go back in time, I don't know, 60, 70 years ago, and you just were buying raw land in Los Angeles metropolitan area. You just buy land, and then you just like store it for your, I don't know, great grandkids or something down the road, man.
You have to pay property tax on maintaining that land too.
Okay.
I think there's just some overhead cost, and then the opportunity cost of like how much money is that going to cost? Are you going to get a loan on it? Who's going to pay that interest? I just don't see it. I mean, it would be like picking a needle in a haystack. Like you would have to pick the right plot of land, the right situation at the right time to be able to sell.
Here's what I was thinking though. I actually considered it, and I haven't done enough research into it, to buy a small, tiny plot of land, and maybe something like Malibu or somewhere in California, or just a tiny, like right by the beach, and then put a tiny house there, or like a van lifestyle, and Airbnb that. Like the amount of money those can make is unbelievable.
Oh, yeah, Andre, let's talk about another idea. I got another idea. So I was thinking, with like Graham was talking about, you have some, areas where there's tons of land, especially in like North Las Vegas, right? Yeah. Where you can get land for real cheap. And I was like, like a lot of people are into the like micro homes or whatever they're called.
Tiny homes.
Yeah, tiny homes. I was like, imagine building a whole development like that. I'm like, a lot
Like
of
a
people
nice
would
trailer
love
park
to live
home?
in those.
There is one here in town, downtown Vegas, where Tony
It sounds
Shea.
like a nice trailer park home. Like an upgraded version of trailers and trailer houses.
Yeah.
He passed away, unfortunately, but he had a community there. I've actually been there. It's like people loved it. But I mean, that might be a little bit more ambitious, but just to test it out and start, I think that would be kind of fun. Maybe if we do it as a millennial money experiment where we buy a small plot of land somewhere.
Zoning, just issues doing that, and then you have to think, well, what about where do people go to the bathroom?
The two real estate guys are basically going, heck no.
Hey, you guys don't know, doing business in Vegas, man, it's cake. They're like, oh, you want to build? Okay, yeah, come this way, man. It's not like California.
Yeah, no, that's what I was saying. I don't know enough research about the California process, but I know it's a pain in the butt where it's like you have to have all these licenses and all these things. And I guess for us, it's not technically worth it.
California is basically impossible. The closest I've ever seen to it is someone bought a house and then they bought an empty lot next to it, and then they put one of those Airstream. What is it? Those little
Airstreams,
yeah, on that plot of land. It's basically in their yard. That's it. It's just a bonus little structure.
Well, what about Joshua Tree? People are buying a ton of property in Joshua Tree just for vacation properties. Is that not?
I don't know. I don't know if I would do Joshua Tree. I've seen some tiny houses out there that look so cool.
Yeah,
but I don't know. I personally probably wouldn't go out there building these things.
It doesn't seem that expensive. It seems like for 50 grand, you can buy yourself a plot of land, get it licensed, put something small in there, and then earn a couple $1,000s a month.
This video gets at least 100 likes. I'll go drive around Houston in both the areas outside of the city that I think are being developed and show the houses being bought, sold, and still built, along with how much land there is.
Month, easily.
Yeah, there's a guy that does this on YouTube in Joshua Tree, and he's building these tiny homes. He's basically got it down to like a cut and paste at this point.
Science. There we go. Yeah, I mean, there's something to it.
You could, but then it's managing an Airbnb. So you're managing a hotel, really, is what you're doing.
Shelby
Andre,
Church is doing an Airbnb.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah,
That's all.
I used to be an Airbnb superhost here in Vegas too.
Yeah, it's getting more difficult now, isn't it, Andre? Because some of the
just our lobby is so powerful here in town. Like casinos are like, no, you come 10 miles within the strip, we ban you.
Yeah,
it's crazy.
I would love to do a whole like community though, like 20 to 50 of those like little micro mini homes, man. Because you get the big cost advantage. You would have all your construction workers line it all up, and even build them on spec. Like just start building them, and I think people would come, man. I really do.
I think so too, especially if it's in a good location that people like to typically vacation at. But the only reservation, I was like, Kevin and Graham are like, nah. Which I'm trying to decide if that's because they think it's a bad idea or because they just think that the time is not worth the return.
No, zoning is a nightmare. I've always wanted to do here in LA. I've always wanted to do micro units where you would have like 150, 200 square feet and just rent them out. Not only would you be able to fit more people and solve a big housing problem, but you would also get a higher amount per square foot for rent. So the landlords are making way more. You could make double, and people would pay less. Instead of spending $3,000 a month on rent, you could rent a little tiny space for $1,000 a month in a perfect area. It's solve all the problems. But zoning doesn't like that because then there's a parking requirement to that. Where do you park all the cars? Where do they get access to transportation? It becomes this logistical nightmare where I feel that if it were that viable, someone else would already be doing it.
I don't know.
They are in Texas.
That last part. I feel like the barrier of entry is kind of high. That's why people haven't thought about it yet. But Kevin, I feel like you know something you're not telling us.
Andre, we need to just find somebody that's got like $10 million or $20 million to their name.
14,000 shares of Tesla, maybe? I don't know. That'll do.
Yeah. Like if they just sold their Tesla position, maybe they could help us fund this project. We'll be the ones to put in the work.
Yeah.
I would literally liquidate my real estate portfolio and put it all into GameStop before doing that.
Oh, wow.
Hey, Andre, now he's giving us some fighting words. Now we got to prove him wrong.
I know why Kevin's saying that. He's saying that because he's doing 10 million things at once, and to him, more real estate is like the worst thing in the world right now. So it's not necessarily a bad idea. It's just for him.
Kevin, or are we on the same page that
look, if you want to deal with it ever, and I got myself into this, and it was the stupidest thing ever, but I'm living it right now. You get into dealing with the city and you think, hey, this is what the law is. I should be able to do that. The law does not matter. The city is above the law. And unless you're handing out to certain people and they're totally in love with you, you get screwed, because every step of the way they throw the book at you. And even if they're neutral with you, they throw the book at you because it's easier. Oh, I could get this permit off my desk today if I just tell them they have to correct some bullcrap. Sure, makes my life easier. I get to go home. We hit our quota of how many corrections we sent out. It is a screwed up, disastrous system. I will never in my life choose to do business with a city in California again, and I'm not traveling to Vegas to deal with.
Come check out Texas.
Right.
Yeah.
No, I believe that. Yeah, you're just saying bureaucracy. That's fair. I listen to that. Yeah.
Yeah. I know the cities here, though, man. They would work with us, Andre. North Las Vegas would.
I think Vegas. Yeah, you're right. Vegas is a lot better about that. California.
Vegas is so nice. I actually had this guy Ryan reach out from the city just to welcome me to Las Vegas.
Wow.
The nicest guy. It was like, anything you need, just let us know. We want everyone to know Vegas is a very business friendly city. Come one, come all. Like, seriously,
I didn't get that invite. I didn't get that welcome.
Imagine LA welcoming me. Like, hey,
You probably need to develop more
so
of the desert.
Your business over here.
You need help.
Gosh, it's night and day.
Wow.
Yeah. Hey, and then if North Las Vegas turns us down, Andre, we'll go out to Boulder City. Boulder City, can you? Oh, dude, they'd be like, oh, you're gonna do what?
They pay you money to do it. Yeah.
Dude, imagine they give us a land for free. I'm gonna have somebody look into this for me, man. I think we're on something big.
Let's sponsor that.
We just made $10 million, Andre, on this one little podcast, man. We just made ourselves 10 mil. Congrats, man.
Elon Musk made 20 mil putting the Cybertruck on pre-sale.
Now I'm gonna steal that. I'll just do it myself.
Any questions from the audience that we have?
Let's do it. Question time, man.
Okay, one moment. Gotta go to the restroom. Be right back. Okay, let's hop back into this.
Sell real estate and put it all into Tattooed Chef. Before partnering on that project, yes.
Did you say you want to fight on Tattooed Chef one more time before we do Q&A? Is that what you said?
No, honestly, I mean, like, before I deal with the city and permits, I would hands down throw every dime I got into Tattooed Chef. It is such a headache.
Well, actually,
go ahead.
Well, actually, I was going to say back to the BlockFi thing. I don't know what made me think about it, because when you called talking about that issue with the whole over-collateralized thing, I was like, wait, is this a thing we should talk about, or is this a business proposition that we should create our own BlockFi and solve this liquidity problem? But,
the problem is, here's the thing, okay, and that's actually a really good thing you bring up. So say you're like, okay, we're going to go into this sort of business, and you don't offer competitive interest rates like Voyage or Kraken. What unique selling proposition do you have? Oh, that in this, 2 Sigma event, we're not going to collapse?
2 Sigma. No, I think
serious.
I think it's
What's
the
a 2 Sigma event?
We made USAA insurance for members like Kate, a former Army medic made of the flexibility.
Interest rate. I think we can match it, if not beat the interest rate, especially in the beginning. And the second thing I think we offer is the fact that we are in many ways public figures that hopefully people trust enough not to do some shenanigans behind the scenes. And I think that's very valuable. Rather than
so we could lend other people's money.
I don't know what the business structure would be, but yeah, I guess it would be that, and maybe we would do it in a more sensible way. I don't know if that's possible to do, but it seems like it would be.
Before we get into Q&A, Kevin, one last question before we get in this Q&A. Why are you not buying Corsair Gaming, CRSR? What is going on there, man? Like what is going on? Do you have an agenda against my stocks? Do you hate my? I'm just kidding. I'm not hate, but like, what? Why are you not buying Corsair, man? Come on, it's a deal.
So in fairness, I did maybe like 5 minutes of a lookup on it, and it didn't enthuse me. I don't think that's not it's not a diss on you. It's somebody was asking me about it. I can pull it up. But yeah, you know the thing is, and I'll say this. I think this is probably the more important part. When I buy a stock, I have to be enthused. Like I have to be excited about it, and the numbers have to make sense. It's like a 1-2 punch, because here's the thing. If I buy something I'm not excited about and then the price goes down, then I'm kicking myself like, gosh, what did I do? I made a mistake. If I'm excited about something and the fundamentals are right and the price goes down, I'm like, this is a deal, right?
Well,
So it's
yeah.
it's mindset building.
Okay, but here's the thing, and this is where this is interesting. Corsair, it's a play on two things, and two things that you do: gaming and streaming. It's a pure play on gaming and
Is there
streaming.
Elgato, right?
Yeah, they own Elgato, which is huge in stream decks, and they're getting huge into microphones now and different products like that. And so,
Yeah, Kevin, don't you have like 2 stream
gaming
decks?
and you love streaming. Obviously, stream 10 times a day. So I'm like, wow, it's a pure play on both of those. If you believe
I've been trending twice on gaming now.
Wow, really? Holy smokes. Yeah. And so if you think like, let's say gaming is going to get a lot bigger over the next 5-10 years, and streaming, it's the purest play in the stock market you could possibly be in. And it's at a forward P of like 20.
What's the ticker?
CRSR.
I've heard some good things about that. I threw, I think, like 30K in it at 34-ish. I'm down a little bit on that.
On Corsair Gaming? Yeah, but right now the lockup's going on. So it's I don't want to give anybody financial advice because there's 9,000 people watching this and probably another 100-something thousand during the week. But CRSR is there's a lockup going on right now. So it's the perfect time, in my opinion, to accumulate shares in the short term. And I'm only giving you financial advice, Kevin. I'm not giving anybody else. So you can sue me, but nobody else, okay? I think it's a perfect.
Jeremy, I'll buy it.
Yeah, Andre, we sold one. Okay. CRSR to the house.
Yeah.
I think
tomorrow now it's going to be up 8%.
Yeah, it is.
Yeah, I think the lockup just started a few days ago, Kevin. So I think if you want to hold for the next 3, 5, 7 years, I think it's a pure play in gaming and streaming, and they own so many companies, it's not even funny. So in the gaming space and streaming space.
Should I put 500 shares or 1,000 shares?
Oh, dude. If it's any less than 10,000 shares, don't even consider.
I'm not me, Kevin, dude.
I think 1,000 to start, and then if it goes down 50%, buy another 1,000. I'm just kidding. I hope it doesn't go down that much.
It's at $33.
Did it just go down a bunch?
It did, yeah, because there's a lot of fear around the lockup, which just finally happened on March 21st. And so everybody was scared, like, oh, what if a bunch of people sell out of the stock? There's a lockup, expiration, blah, blah, blah. And also there's like this fear in the short term of basically the year-over-year comps are going to be super hard because obviously, they had a huge, last year, everybody buying keyboards and everything. So everybody's like, or not everybody, but people on Wall Street are like, oh, it's going to be a tough comp year. So I don't know if I want to, I'll buy the stock next year. I won't buy it this year. So me as a long-term investor in the stock, I'm like, I want to buy, and then, we'll see what plays out over the next 5-10 years. There we go. Wait, 1 share. Oh, 1,000 shares. Okay. Well, there we go. Oh,
wait, is that Robinhood?
Yeah, it's Robinhood.
Oh, there we go. We got Andre on board. That's what I'm talking about. Me, Kevin, you look like you're getting ready to buy some, and Graham, you look like you're looking into it right now.
Well, I've already bought.
Okay, so
I've been debating buying more. Well, I bought it. I told you I bought it 34.
That's right. Yeah.
Now 31, and I was debating.
Bitcoin and Tesla.
Do I wait? Do I wait for it to drop more? Because I bought in as much as I was willing to invest. So
just don't tell Jack about this stock because I don't want it dropping 50%.
Jack's watching, man. He's probably got his bid on Robinhood right now too.
We gotta all move over to public.com/Graham. You can get your free stock.
Oh,
are we
look
going?
At that
are we going?
Single plug. Now everybody has to do a plug.
Weeble's like those are fighting words right there.
Everybody plugs now.
You got a link down
Aye,
below.
aye.
What?
So hey,
What?
you think,
Okay,
Kevin?
Jeremy, tell me why. What kind of growth are you expecting here?
So this year will be a little more timid because it's coming off a super tough comp year, right? Because so many
Yeah.
people were buying, everything last year. I'm expecting double-digit growth this year, somewhere between 10 and 20%. And then I'm expecting solid 5 to 15% growth for years and years to go into the future. Because I think gaming is just going to get bigger, streaming is going to get bigger. This company's got their foot on the gas. They keep buying companies too, little companies that they're going to grow, even some software companies. And then I think the real compelling part of Corsair, if they get more into software and services over time, which is I think the route they're going, they're going to be able to command. They're buying companies like apps and different things like that.
Yeah, but I mean, like, I don't want to buy a hardware company to get potentially a hit on software.
Well, okay, so the hardware company, I think alone it can justify the valuation it's at and go up a lot more. So that's just that. I'm just talking about the cherry on top. I think
Most of the apps are probably made with Unreal or Unity. So, yeah.
They can get more into software and services, because then you go from a company that is valued like a hardware company at a forward P of 20 to 30 to all of a sudden you can be valued at a 50, 60, 70. So that's a cherry on top. I think no matter what, it's a good money maker regardless. But if they can successfully transition, I think that's huge. Oh, and they're getting into basically training of like, a lot of people don't even, get trained in games like properly by professionals and things like that. So they're actually starting, they're going to try to become the premier player in training of like video games and whatnot. So kind of similar to like you'd get skiing lessons or golf lessons. They're going to become that. And then all the professionals
I've heard of kids being
are all
trained.
going to use Corsair products and Elgato products. And so
is there a service for that? Like, does something like that exist already where people can sign up for like coaching or whatever through gaming?
Nothing big. Corsair is going to probably be the first big player in this market. It's just not a big thing as of right now, but it's going to be, in my opinion, over time. So
Nintendo used to do that. They used to have a hotline where you could call and they'd be like, "Hey, I can't beat this Donkey Kong level," and they'd be like, "Oh, let me walk you through it."
Really?
In the 80s. Yeah, it's great.
Wow. No, that's incredible. Yeah, so that's just another cash flow machine. But anyways, yeah, so I think there's so many different angles that are exciting, and at a forward P of 22, let's say 23,
Walkthrough hotline.
It's not like you're paying some ridiculous valuation. It's like, oh my gosh, this is pricing in 10 years of growth. It's like, it's already attractive.
No, I mean, look, from the first time I looked at it, it's certainly a lot cheaper, which is in some senses a good thing. I mean, they've got 129 million cash. They get a lot of long-term debt. Their long-term debt, just long-term, not looking at the other things here. Their long-term debt, not looking at payables. Where's their long-term? I just had it up here. Long-term borrowing, 321 million. It's a lot. You got like 1,900 employees. It's a lot. I know they're building stuff. You've got. I was looking at. So projected revenue. I can show this if I push this button and this button.
Yeah.
So I was looking at. Go ahead.
Last year they grew crazy.
Yes, they did by like 55%. It was crazy. And they're projected to go to 11.9%, then 7.2. If anything, that slowing growth rate projected even into 22 is potentially a little bit concerning. Don't get me wrong, I love gaming. I have their products. I've got the Elgato stuff. I think it's brilliant. They're you're right though about their valuation. I mean, in 2022 at 1.68 as a projected EPS, at 31.48 or whatever it closed at today. If I would say that's super cheap, man. 18.7 times. It's cheap, but the question is it cheap for a good reason? And so I think for me to invest in this, it would have to be looking at do I think they can smash what Wall Street thinks in 21 and 22? Maybe I just don't know enough of their products to say, but I mean, what you're saying sounds good.
Yeah. Yeah, we'll see where it all shakes out. But anyways, let's get into that Q&A, guys. Let's do some Q&A for the fans, and I'm sure they're gonna love that.
Quick round, lightning round. Go.
Lightning round.
Oh wait, we need the music. Where's the we need the
Yes.
what is it, the Jim
Buy the dip.
Cramer?
Buy the dip.
Well, no, the Jim Cramer one, because you know I just have to get it to where I can do multiple at a time, because I can only do one at a time. Like he starts. Oh, it just stuck up through that. But you know that one, and like the lightning and the bolts and all that kind of stuff. Not sure why it's not going through my. Oh, that's why. But anyway, yeah. Okay, go with the questions. What's questions?
I guess he didn't have the iPad plugged
You're the
in.
one pulling them up, man.
I'm pulling the questions up. I thought you guys could see the
I
questions.
thought Jeremy was. We need one person, Kevin. I nominate you.
Okay, fine. Question: why would you even consider? Oh, it all just jumped.
Oh God.
Okay, well, I'll get to the bottom of this. Hold on. All right, I'm situated.
Only pay for what you need with Liberty Mutual. I just said that.
Feels weird. Picking it up. The legacy of that shield is
Situated. Here we go.
Yeah,
okay,
I
here
can't
we go.
even get
Started.
the questions up, Graham.
I can get it up.
Sponsored by the Blood.
Started with 50K,
K and Y.
got 140K, now 90K. Okay. Bought a house for 450K in Central Oregon. Do I pull out? Do I pull out my down payment now, or wait until June when I close?
Kevin, we can't see it.
Oh, you want me to put it up? Oh,
Yeah.
Okay, there you go.
There we go.
Oh, that's what you all want.
Yeah.
Do I pull out now or do I wait? I don't know, guys. So basically, they're in escrow on a place, it sounds like, and they need the down payment. Their portfolio went from 140K to 90K. They're up money, but now they're panicking because they got this place. When are you closing is the question. Oh, in June, it says it. It says June. June's a while out. I mean, that's 3 months out. I don't know. I'd wait. If the market crashed more, I would just not buy the house then.
Well, it depends what it depends what the investment is. I mean, if it's in GameStop, I think we would all say start with 50. Right? Because it depends what he's invested in. Kevin, if he's in Tattooed Chef, you would tell him to sell. But if it's in Tesla, you would say to hold.
Well, in fairness, if it were Tattooed Chef or Tesla and it were diversified into these techs, I would.
So they put 50 in the house.
You know,
It's 140.
Tattooed
Now
Chef
it's 90.
is basically valuing itself like a tech company, so we may as well say they're all going to be in the
House
same
is
right
about
together.
540.
And I think they'll do well over the next few months. So,
They could profit 90 if they
all right,
went out now.
next question.
Probably wait. Yeah.
Why would you even consider selling Bitcoin now? Oh, says crypto and beyond. Okay, somebody else take that question.
No, it's you.
It can't be directed at me.
You're the only one who wants to sell.
Oh,
Yeah,
it's a pay down margin. Because if there's a Bitcoin collapse at the same time as tech sells off more, it would just be the buffer margin. If I were zero in margin, I wouldn't sell Bitcoin. Okay, next question is, with regards to earning interest on stable coins, what's your thought on decentralized projects like Compound Finance, Aave, more transparent than BlockFi as their assets are on Ethereum?
I don't know.
I don't know, guys. Andre?
I've not looked into that.
Yeah. So I guess that I would have a follow-up question for Daniel, and then maybe Daniel, you can answer this for us. I don't care if the ownership of the coin is transparent. I need to know how many times it's been lent. If that's transparent, I don't know. Would I care more? Probably not, because people are dumb in the sense of, like, when it comes to looking at these numbers, they'll tell you to your face, hey, it's lent out 10 times, and we won't evaluate the risk. So I think that would help, but I think there's a risk that even if that's available, we won't look it up as a society, and I include myself in that category of, like, I think there's that potential, like, hey, everything's fine, it's going up, there's no problem, and that makes us dumb money in that sense, right? Without evaluating that risk. So I think that's a potential downside. Now, I don't know what they're more transparent about. I would have to know that answer. So we'll circle back to that. So thank you for that. Okay, next question. I want to quit my current job at $60K a year, move to Atlanta to start a real estate company with my mom. She currently makes $480K a year. Do I quit? Well, I got my answer on that.
Yeah.
Yes.
Well, put the questions up here so other people can follow along. Yeah.
Sorry.
There we go.
Yes.
Why would
I think
that be a
that's
no?
What does your mom do to make $480K a year? Is it how?
Well, she currently, I'm assuming it's a real estate
Imagine
that
if
she's
it's
running
not
real
though.
estate.
Imagine if the mom is going to quit her career too. They're both going to do something entirely
True. True. So let's clarify that too. So Zella, we want to know, is it also is she already operating a real estate business and you're just gonna join her? And yeah, I mean you're making
If the
if
answer
she's
to
got
that,
so much
yes.
business, you're gonna make more than 60K.
Hey, you guys ever been to Magic City?
No.
No.
Okay, never mind. Let's
Good
go on.
talk.
Okay. Thanks.
Yeah. See, she works in real estate. It says here.
Okay.
Oh yeah,
Okay.
easy.
Yeah, you should
Yeah,
definitely.
that's
That's what I'm
a
telling my
no-brainer.
girlfriend Corey to do as well. Real estate, do that.
It's a no freaking brainer.
Cool.
Okay.
We
Yes.
can all just work for his mom too.
Okay.
Yeah.
Okay. So here it says, yes, it's transparent. There is clear maximum leverage. Typically, if you're yeah. Well, hold on a second. Clear maximum leverage is there are many different kinds of leverage, right? And I hate to keep adding questions, but these are the important things when it comes to investing. Is the a stable coin, does that have a limit to how many times it can get moved around? I think that's what you're saying. Or when somebody goes, because there's the second form of lending, which is, hey, I want to borrow against what I have myself and increase what I have myself, right? So like if I have $100 in Bitcoin, maybe I could borrow 25 or 35 against it. I think you're saying the stable coin is max leverage at 4 to 5 times. I mean, to me, that's somewhat similar probably to what already happens at the other institutions. It's just maybe like interface. But this is again why I say like it still leaves us dumb, because it's like, okay, well, how much of a risk is that really? Like it'd be so nice if we had a little scale that I could just slide and go, if Bitcoin falls 90%, who goes bankrupt? And guess who does that for us? The Fed, with bank stress tests at banks. If stocks fall this, who's screwed? Who's underwater? We don't have that in crypto yet. And so look, again, it's not like I'm running away, selling out now, but those. So maybe those guys are going to be more transparent, and that's their unique selling proposition, and that's how more people invest there. Maybe it sounds great, something to look into. Okay, here's a 3-parter, folks. You guys are loving the centralized exchanges. Oh wait, is this the one that we already answered? And can run away with your crypto at any time, but there are others like heck. I think this is a similar question. This other DeFi stuff.
Jesus, 38% APY. Okay.
Maybe not then. What? 38% APY. See, that stuff makes me instantly nervous.
Yes.
Yeah, especially when somebody goes, you can lock up trustlessly. No, I don't know what that means, first of all, and get paid up to 38% APY.
By the way, a quick and easy way to answer that is it depends on your risk assessment, right? So the more decentralized of a platform you invest in, the more risk you take on from a technology perspective. If somebody hacks into that crypto, if somebody like something happens, then decentralized comes at a cost of security. So you want to assess that how you will. And if it's 38%, then you're probably taking on a big risk.
Bitcoin is ultra decentralized, more decentralized than even like the people who are building currencies on top of Ethereum, right?
Yes, but that's not automatically given to other cryptos. Just because Bitcoin's decentralized and it's secure, it does not mean other cryptos
No. Yes.
are equally.
Yes. That benefit is not bestowed upon the other. Yes. Correct. Okay, fair. Good point. Anybody else want to add a comment to that, or next question?
Next question.
Okay, what's your thought on the real estate agent boom? More agents than properties for sale. Does that signal a bubble?
Is there a boom? There's always been more agents than properties to sell, though.
Yeah, that's always been the case. Is
there a boom?
Yes.
I'd never heard of a boom like that.
I've heard a boom or a bubble. Like how do you assess a bubble? What does that mean?
Listen, most agents, when it comes to that, they're horrible. They suck. Like out of that 50%, you don't even have to worry about them because they're bad. So just take the number, cut it in half. Of the half of those people do it part-time. So now we're at 25%. Those are the people you really got to compete with. And of those 25%, how many are even good at it? A fraction of those. So I think as long as you're just like, you pick up your phone, you show up every day, you show up early to your appointments, and you're on top of it, you're already in like the 90th percentile. So, and that's
I'm sure YouTubers now because of the pandemic. There's a bubble.
Everything's a freaking bubble. Okay.
Like a few more.
Thoughts on IPOE, SoFi, the lending platform. Anybody have thoughts on more rocket mortgages? It's not exactly. But...
Yeah.
Huh?
I don't have any thoughts.
No, everybody's no. I get nervous about any lending platform when society believes interest rates are going to the moon. So it creates issues for me. Even Rocket Mortgage, even though I own it, I'm like, yeah, I'm not buying more of this. I've been very consistent on my thoughts on Rocket. I think Rocket Mortgage is a phenomenal company, undervalued, underappreciated, and SoFi maybe as well. But with the environment we're in, I just don't think lending platforms are where it's at.
Hey,
So,
Rocket,
okay.
well, why are you so sold on? I mean, I'm not. I'm understand the Rocket long term thesis there, Kevin, but
Yeah.
short term, man, mortgage rates
No,
going
short term
up.
it sucks. Short term
Yeah,
it sucks.
yeah. And so why should somebody buy today and not, let's say, wait
They
6
shouldn't.
months?
They shouldn't.
Okay,
I'm just not going to sell it. Yeah, but they shouldn't buy.
okay, interesting. Let's do
Okay.
2 more questions. Got to be really good, Kevin. 2 more.
Oh, well, I already clicked on this one. What is this? Would
Okay.
any of you be down to do a podcast call? Okay, well, I mean, here's the developer. Okay, I think this is probably not the right venue to ask that. But sorry, I clicked that one because it looked like a question, but I didn't actually read it first.
Yeah.
Okay, so we need two more good
2
questions.
more. They got to
here.
be good ones. Two last ones to close
Okay.
it out here.
Okay, here you go. Here, this is nice. So you can only hold one asset for the next 10 years. What is
Tesla.
it and why? Go, Graham.
Ooh, one asset. I would almost say, oddly enough, real estate. I think would just be the most stable, and I would just pick probably one building, maybe 1 or 2 buildings, and get it managed. If I were to just pick one thing.
For me, it would be Bitcoin, even though it's the riskiest of any asset you can pick. And it sounds stupid. I think if you have enough conviction in something and you believe in it, from what I've learned from you guys, it's the people that become the wealthiest are the people that make 1 or 2 bets that they truly believe in. And for me, that would be that. I think that's going to be the best performer in the next 10 years.
For me, Facebook stock, because I'll 2x to 4x my money easy, and I won't lose any money for the next 10 years. Other stocks I have are riskier.
I mean, so if it's asset class, I might be tempted at this point to just liquidate everything, keep it all in stocks. You know, it's just an asset class like that. If I could only pick one asset class. If I could only, I mean, I guess that would be the same as real estate. But like, for example, if the question was, could I only have one stock or real estate? Well, then it would be real estate in that
By the way, I just wanted to clarify, that's in my position when I have a high income that I can risk that investment. But if I was not in my position, I wouldn't necessarily pick Bitcoin. I might pick something a little bit more stable. But because I'm okay if my crypto investment goes away, I'll still have enough income to make up for the difference. So it's a different position.
Nice save there.
What do you mean nice save? You gotta clarify.
All right, Kevin. One last question, man. Make it a good one. This is the grand finale. It's got to be a good one.
It's topical to our video, and I think it's a good one for Andre to answer here.
Okay.
Oh, okay. If it runs on the Ethereum blockchain, it can be hacked. Well, there you go. I know not all of them are running on Ethereum. I know some of them are running on their own proprietary cryptos that are not as secure as Ethereum. So it just depends on which one we're talking about.
The problem is, and here's the thing, okay, this is an issue that comes up regularly. People are like, well, Kevin, it's a smart contract. It's guaranteed to work perfectly. I think that inherently is flawed. Now, it is correct that 1 + 2 equals 3 in the terms of a smart contract. This is true. But if a smart contract says, let's say there's a smart contract that says you borrow $25 of Bitcoin against the $100 of Bitcoin you have. Smart contract says Bitcoin goes to $35, you get liquidated. Smart contract says that, acts that way. Great, cool, okay. BlockFi got all my Bitcoin. They got all my Bitcoin. That's valued at $35 now. The contract's going to work. This is correct. But if Bitcoin goes to $5,000, it plummets, and now the value of my money is $10 or $5 or whatever. The contract performs, but what the other person is left with could potentially be substantially different from what they expected they were going to get. So while there may be ways to engineer these perfect smart contracts, it doesn't eliminate the fact that there is this serious lending risk. Anytime you lend something, and every CEO that I've talked to, well, the 2 CEOs that I've talked to about this regarding blockchain, they all say the same thing. The risk is counterparty risk. You are trusting in another party holding an asset that fluctuates in value, and you don't know what you're going to get back, whether it's a smart contract or a paper contract.
Hey Kevin, I got the question to end it, man. Put up the one from Jack. It says, "What are your life goals, and when do you think you'll retire?" I think that's a good one to end it on today, because that's a deep one, man. I would love to hear everybody's perspective on that one. And then,
so that's a big one.
Who wants to? Okay, I'll go first. So my life goals has always been to like create crazy amounts of wealth and be able to like, you know, do charity, like maybe change it and do it better than it's been done in the past, something like that. That's always been like my guiding light since I was probably 18 or 19. And as far as retiring, I don't see it for myself. Maybe someday, you know, I took over a year off when my firstborn son was born, and I just got bored over time. And plus, like, I don't know, I'm just ambitious. Like, if I ever lost ambition, I might retire. But as long as I got ambition, man, I get too bored, like just sitting around, like doing nothing. But let's hear it, guys.
Yeah, that's really. I actually made a video that I'm going to post on Friday talking about something similar. Where it was like when I originally started YouTube, my goal was to FIRE, right? Financial independence, retire early. But now that I've reached that point, I'm like, well, darn, I don't want to go to some beach and retire on $50,000 a year. That sounds boring. Like, what else can I do? And then I was like, well, should I make it Fat FIRE, right? Fat FIRE is kind of like FIRE, but it's, let's say, spending $100,000 a year of income, passive income that you're earning. Yeah. And I was like, well, that sounds kind of boring too. If I reach that, like, then what? And so I guess the goalpost has been moved, and now for me it's something like we're all kind of doing, which is democratizing finance for everybody, but maybe on a bigger scale. So maybe we can have at some point not just be content creators where we're putting out videos, but maybe we can do something like, I don't know, starting our own brokerages, starting our own interest-based business, whatever it is, where just I feel like there's much more potential in this space that we haven't yet reached, where right now we're focused on videos, we have our own products, like that's cool, but can we build billion-dollar companies together? Is that something that's even possible that we can do to really democratize what we're doing on a scale that we haven't done before? And like that's like a big long-term goal. So
I love that, Andre. What about you, Kevin?
Yeah, I mean, I really like what you mentioned, Jeremy. That's probably me. Like, I feel like working almost keeps you young. And yeah, my big thing is definitely charity, but it would be child poverty's got to go, man. That's a big thing. Global child poverty, having children, it's just, I can't imagine children being hungry. Start with child hunger, then go into child poverty. And I do want to quickly just mention, because there are a few comments going like, Kevin doesn't understand smart contracts. Look, I get it. I get it. Maybe I don't understand as much as I need to, and I'm willing to learn more. I'm always wanting to learn more. I get the thing about no counterparty risk. Those were two kind of things merged together. Quick thing, Joe, just reiterate. When a lender lends money, what they get back does not have to be as valuable as when they gave it. Somebody lends me a hundred, Bitcoin at 50,000, and I give it back to them when the market value is 1,000. There's still risk involved to that lender. That's what I'm referring to. The contract will work, like somebody says here, 1,000,000% or whatever. But what you get back is not necessarily what you expected. And when people make business decisions on, I got these assets because loans made, smart contracts made, or assets on balance sheets at crypto companies, when they get back less than they expected because BlockFi lent, $100 million to Voyager, let's say, as an example, and they get back $10 million, but then let's say BlockFi has a bunch of obligations that are worth more than $10 million, you got big problems. That's what I'm saying. Contracts will work. What you make those contracts is the problem.
Good answer. All right. I'm glad Jack hopped on this. Jack is awesome. I had Jack on the podcast, by the way. Such a smart kid, really doing, and he's buying real estate too at like 17. It's crazy. So Jack, what's up? Happy to see you on here. But I don't know. Life goals. I honestly, I wish I had thought further ahead. I've just always kind of felt like doing what I felt is right and have fun doing, and every day I wake up and I'm enjoying what I'm working on. So I think over time that'll change, and I don't know if there'll ever be a point where I'll retire. I'm sure I'll always be tinkering on something. Maybe at one point I spend more time on hobbies, but at this point I'm having so much fun doing this.
All right, Graham, take us home, Graham.
I'm on Kevin's side on solving poverty and child poverty through philanthropy.
Take us home, man.
So with that said, okay, wait, no, for real. Before you leave, guaranteed like 50% of you watching this are not subscribed.
Please leave a
Just
like
go
button.
ahead and subscribe. It's super easy to do. It takes you a quick second. Just go over to that little
Absolutely
button
free.
right there. Just subscribe. And that way, next week, you're going to get the notification when we go live again. It's going to be a week from today. Just go and subscribe. Kevin, you want to tell them how easy it is? It's easier than a smart contract.
You know, there's this button, and especially good if you do it on a browser, because next to the red button, which you want to make gray, there's this cool button called Join. And when you press that, you can chat with us in the chat here. We see your comments.
They already have members?
Comments. There actually aren't that many, so if you get in now, it's kind of like you're getting into a nice small club.
All right, so I'm watching it. So 66,402 right now. If you subscribe, this is going to be you subscribing right now. Watch this.
Wait, we got to get to 666.
Oh, it went down.
Oh, that's funny. Yo, this is like stocks.
No, it's not going to happen.
Hey, Graham.
Oh,
Graham.
we're back.
There we go.
Okay.
We got him back. Holy crap, it scared me for a second. I've never done it where you subscribe and then you lose subscribers. Sorry, guys. Okay, so someone's playing a joke. That's funny. All right. We got that out of our system. Anyway, subscribe, hit the like button.
Yeah. All right, Graham. Finish taking us home, and don't give it back to Kevin, because you know if we give it back to Kevin, he's gonna take this for another 15 minutes, man.
Yeah. All right. Anyway, guys, thank you so much for watching. All of our information's down below in the description. Make sure to like the video. Again, subscribe, hit the notification bell, and we'll see everyone a week from today.
These days, there is a lot to balance. But Grammarly ensures you communicate.
Okay. They've been Millennial Money. I'm Zoomers React. Thanks for watching. I need to record episode 7. This was Millennial Money, Why We Stopped Buying Bitcoin, episode 6. Gonna go post it right now. Thanks for watching. Leave a like, comment, and subscribe. Love y'all. Later.